Hello and welcome to Daily Market Movements. Welcome to another episode of Stock Watch. In today's episode, we are going to be looking at one of my favorite stocks at this moment in time. I think this stock in particular offers a fantastic opportunity. And that stock is PayPal Holdings. As you can see in front of you, we currently have the chart up all the way from the end of 2019 going through until our close that we just had on Friday. At this moment in time, there is a slight dilemma in the stock market, and that is that the market is very expensive. And if you don't know that, that means you've probably been living under a rock for the past 18 months because we've had $120 billion pumped in from the Fed every single month buying financial assets. And of course, that has caused a huge surge in the markets. The Nasdaq 100, for example, I think it's up by roughly 144% since those lows that we achieved back in March 2020. That's when COVID really hit us hard and we had that massive 30% sell-off in the indices, but we've rallied 144%. Now, how much money of this is ours and how much money of this is the Fed just pumping it into the market? No one knows. But, you know, the chart does not lie. We have seen a huge rally towards the upside and things are looking rather expensive at this moment in time. Now, do not worry. I'm not going to be one of these traders who comes onto YouTube and says, I think we're in a bubble. I think we're going to pop. I think we're going to fall 100%. I'm not one of those traders. I embrace this. I embrace the fact that the Fed has been pumping in so much money. As the old saying goes, do not fight the Fed. But what I am going to tell you is a fantastic opportunity, a buying opportunity in in PayPal. And that's because with the market being at record highs, if we go over to the PayPal chart, you may see that the last couple of weeks, it has been hell for PayPal shareholders. And that's because we've fallen from the record highs all the way up at $310 a share down to the low of 200, where we fell 35%. So what does this mean? This means if we were to trade back towards the all-time highs, which the broader market is currently doing, you're looking at a 53% gain from current levels, or I should say 48% level gain from current levels. So this offers a fantastic buying opportunity. Now, there may be some who think that we could even fall lower, but again, the next level of support really comes in around 180, 185 area, and if we were to go there, that still offers another 12% towards the downside. And what I'm going to do today is explain a little bit more about the fundamentals and the technicals with regards to PayPal. Now, for those who are watching my video for the first time, I have just posted a more in-depth video with regards to this PayPal position I've just opened. I am not going to share my trading strategy with regards to PayPal during this video. If you would like to see that, you can then head over to my streaming service website. If I just go onto our videos to show you the content that we have on offer, I have just posted, here it is under Stock Watch, a more in-depth video where I explain my strategy. I give you my stop loss, my take profit, and my entry point with regards to PayPal. So if you would like to go and watch that video, head on down to the description and it will come up under www.dailymarketmovements.com. And as well as that, once you sign up to the streaming service, you will then be added to our Telegram chat, where I've also just posted that signal. So please do not hesitate. Go and check out the streaming service site at www.dailymarketmovements.com and join our amazing team. Now, let's take a look at PayPal. As I just mentioned, PayPal has fallen 35% in the past 3 to 4 weeks. And you may be thinking, well, what's the fundamental reason? What is the background to this massive fall that's just occurred? And that's because a few weeks ago, we had PayPal come out and say that they were interested in buying the company Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is an e-commercial company, and the shareholders were not impressed. This would have costed PayPal a lot of money, and that share plummeted 6%. But then the following day, PayPal announced that deal had actually fallen through and that PayPal are no longer interested in acquiring Pinterest. And the stocks went up 6%. And then after the market opened, the shares then lost their gains. And then we've just kind of fallen into this downtrend movement. And then just to add on top of all of that, we had earnings come out last week. And they pretty much come in line, give or take a few $1 million. And again, PayPal investors, they were not impressed. And we've seen now a fall from that $229 area all the way down towards $200. And we've now caused a gap in the market. Now, for those who do not understand technical analysis, typically speaking, gaps have to close themselves. It's very common that you will now see this gap be closed. And if that was the case, we would see a move up towards $227 a share. So very interesting that we have formed a gap there. But I also want to show you the RSI. The RSI was trading as low as 22 last week. Incredibly oversold. Anything above 70 on the RSI means that the stock is overbought. And of course, anything under 30 means that the stock is oversold. Now, when was last time we had an occasion when the market was as sold as it was last week? And that takes us all the way back to the 11th of October 2018. And if I zoom in to this little dip that occurred in the market, as you can see, we've had the PayPal stock, which plummeted roughly 20%, I believe, from the highs all the way down there. 19.994%, so sorry, 19.94%, so yes, pretty much 20% fall there on the PayPal stock. But what happened is that when we rebounded from that oversold RSI, we actually saw a 16 to 17, I think it was 17% jump in the PayPal price. Now, if that was to occur now on the PayPal chart, well, then that would take us pretty much to close that gap. In fact, it would actually take us past that level, and it would take us up to around $243. So very interesting indeed. And that's just some of the fundamentals and technicals that I am analyzing here on the PayPal chart. But another fundamental you need to be very aware of. PayPal is still expensive. It has just fallen 35%, but I've just done some of the evaluation calculations with regards to PayPal, its forward earnings, etc. And it's not cheap. It is a very expensive stock. But one thing I do like about PayPal, it has a game plan. Okay, the fact that they're interested in buying an e-commercial company like Pinterest means that they have a plan. And also, as well as that, they announced a few months ago, I think about 3 months ago, that they want to start opening a trading platform, and they've recently put it out there that they will accept the trading of cryptos, and crypto markets has been on fire as of recent. For those who don't know, Bitcoin is currently at an all-time high, Ethereum is at an all-time high. We're now is what you call alt season, so a lot of the mid caps and low cap cryptocurrencies will be achieving those all-time high prices. And this is very interesting. You know, I use PayPal for several of my businesses, and I also trade crypto, and it would be much more efficient for me just to be paid in PayPal and then exchange it straight into crypto. And that will at this moment in time, I'm having to get paid in PayPal, withdraw that PayPal to my bank, then pay that bank money into my crypto wallet, and it costs a lot of money. You know, there's always transaction costs, and as well as that, it costs time, and time is one of the most valuable assets out there, and time is money. It comes back to that saying. So I think that PayPal have got a plan, and I really am excited to see the stock grow, and I would not be surprised if we're trading well above 300 this time next year. One thing that I will say, I think it's only fair that we cover the negatives as well as the positives, is that the 50-day EMA has now just crossed over the 200-day EMA. So this typically means medium to long term, the market could be in a bearish pattern. So that is one worrying aspect to this PayPal. And that's why I'm not targeting up towards the all-time highs. And that's why you should go and see my video over on my streaming service to understand exactly where I'm targeting. As well as that, we have a huge fundamental potential negative that is coming. And that is that the tapering process will begin as of next month. As I mentioned, to the stock market, the broad market, so that's the Nasdaq 100, the S&P 500, the Dow Jones 30, they are all very expensive, trading at all-time highs. And we have the tapering process. And what typically comes after the tapering process? Well, as I mentioned at the start of this video, we currently have $120 billion of Fed money, printed money, getting pumped into the markets. And as that slowly starts to stop, I think it's going to be 15 billion a month. We are slowly going to start the tapering of that. And typically speaking, in the textbook, is that what happens after a tapering process is that interest rates start to be hiked. Right now, interest rates are at an all-time low, which makes it very cheap for companies, very cheap for them to borrow money. And as once those interest rates start to go up, that's when traders, investors, they're going to go and do some recalculations as to with regards to their forward price predictions and forward earnings predictions for these companies, and they are going to change. And it's the big tech stocks, the expensive stocks like PayPal, the growth stocks that really do get damaged when when interest rates go up. So that's one thing that you should be aware of. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not going to explain in this video what my PayPal strategy is, because it will be very unfair on my clients who have subscribed to my streaming service. But you can go over to my website and pay that very small fee of $19.99 to go and understand and find out what my strategy is. But thank you very much for watching today's video. This is one of my favorite stocks going into this week, and of course I will keep you updated as always if I do exit this trade and if we do see any large amounts of volatility. But thank you very much. Please give my channel a subscribe and give me a thumbs up on this video.